A local landmark has a new home. The Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church has stood in Chillicothe since 1868, the oldest AME church north of the Missouri River. The town is now working to preserve this piece of history, and KCTV5's Nathan Vickers shows us the project, now years in the making.
Every church tells the story of its worshipers. Linda Stewart remembers the music of her childhood, the face of the woman who used to play this piano every Sunday.
I knew the lady that played it. Her name is Darce Golden.
At the Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church, built in 1868.
The services were always spirited. We just loved to praise the Lord, and our pastors were good preachers, and so there was lots of excitement.
Bethel was the first AME church built north of the Missouri River. Stewart and her family actually went to a different historic church, Mount Zion Baptist, the first black congregation in the area.
It was a close community where if we were not at Mount Zion, we were at Bethel, and if we were not at Bethel, then we were at Mount Zion.
To her, both places feel like home.
Wherever we wanted to worship, we were welcome.
The Bethel congregation has mostly faded, but the city of Chillicothe has been restoring the building to add to the Grand River Historical Society Museum.
There's a little prayer book and a book of Proverbs.
Pam CLINGERMAN runs the museum, which has filled the church with replicas of Underground Railroad quilts and histories from the early church members.
I just think it's being part of the community and saving that part that maybe didn't have a voice before.
I hope that they understand the pride that we have in the history of our people.
The building itself has a story. The last time we saw it, it was in an entirely different place. In 2018, we showed you this church's incredible journey as contractors lifted it off its foundation and hauled it across town, a sight people in Chillicothe will never forget.
I walked alongside and about had a stroke every time it went over a bump.
Lumber prices have made it a slow and costly endeavor, but the restoration is nearly complete. The museum recently held a dedication ceremony with a choir of the congregation's descendants. More events and concerts are coming.
It's just important to preserve history because once it's gone, it can never be replaced.
As a museum,
Who wants their history to be lost?
Bethel has a new mission,
Our history is going to be preserved.
honoring the people who built this church, this town, continuing the story. In Chillicothe, Nathan Vickers, KCTV5 News.